is the Glass Cannon Network.
Good evening, Naish, and welcome to Haunted City. I say evening because it's always evening in Doskvol. There's no sun. It was destroyed in a cataclysm. My name is Jared Logan, and you are watching Haunted City, the show where we play Blades in the Dark, the incredible game from John Harper and Evil Hat. The best game written in 20 years? Easily. With me during this session of our game, I have an incredible cast who have come to give you part 2 of a very special Haunted City storyline, The Rise of Chuk. The tagline, Chuk shall rise. And here with me to portray Chuk's weird and twisted crew, Chuk himself, Salim. What's up, Abu?
Yo. What's up? How you doing?
The diminutive, but no less twisted Mathilda, played by Sydney Amanuel.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
And the disgruntled leech, also very short, Canute, played by Ross Bryant.
Small but mighty, yeah. That's right,
what's
Rise
up,
of
guys?
Chuck, and a Chuck shall lead them.
Rise
Yes.
of Chuk.
Rise of Chuk.
I feel like we're doing like a news report where it's like, there was a fire tonight at 10 p.m. A fire at 10 p.m. Broke out at 10 p.m. when the fire started. And we're like, Rise of Chuk, when Chuk will rise.
Rise.
Chuck's rising.
Yeah.
we got a Chuck rising in the east, and
Well,
with a huge Chuck front moving in from the west coast.
Oh, great.
this is just
great.
a little message. We're shooting it out to Troy LaValle. If a Chuk shall rise t-shirt, I mean, it feels like a bestseller.
Yeah.
I'd wear it.
Yeah.
I'd
I
wear it.
definitely would wear it. I might just get a white t-shirt and write that on it with permanent marker.
I think
you
everyone
make
would
me one?
question why I'm wearing it, but hey ho.
Yeah. Wait, I'm wearing my
Ooh.
it's
that's a
October
cool
when we're
top.
recording. You're probably listening to this in November, but I'm wearing that's my Boris Karloff The Mummy t-shirt.
Nice.
And my favorite thing that ever happened while wearing this t-shirt, I was going through TSA security, and a guy said, one of the TSA agents said, "Original Mummy, come over here."
That's great.
And then he patted me down. But
Right. Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
Oh.
hell yeah, Original Mummy. What's your best t-shirt? What's your best t-shirt, Abu?
Oh man. So after finishing Raised by Wolves season 2, this designer, one of the graphic designers, made a t-shirt for me where it's basically me in my latex suit, and it says, "Who's your daddy?" And it's
That's
like
great.
it's the crazy. It's so funny because it's literally me, just like with "Who's your daddy" written on it. It's ridiculous, but so good. I wore it for the for our rap party, and yep, it was great. It was super great.
How can I get one? I loved Raised by Wolves.
I know, right? I know. I should actually like. I could make a killing from that, you know.
That's right. You got to put the shirts out there. You got to move that merch. You will be sued by Ridley Scott. But
Exactly. You know. Well,
you just got to sell them out of a stall in a back alley. That's all.
Yeah.
Come over
Anyway.
here. You want Raised by Wolves merchandise?
It'd be great.
Yeah. All right, Sid, what's your cool t-shirt? What's the t-shirt you're proud of?
There's one that I think is more funny because it's a nonsensical shirt. And it just says, "I'm never going to buy another horse. No way, no how," on the front. And then on the back, there's like a weird drawing of a horse, and it just says, "Okay, maybe one more." And every time I wear it, people are like, "What does this mean? Do you own horses?" And I'm like, No, it has nothing. I don't own horses.
Somehow I knew because you skateboard that you would have an amazing t-shirt. I don't know
Okay.
what it is about skating and t-shirts, but you guys
Yeah, they seem
find
to
the
rock it,
most
man.
amazing vintage t-shirt. Is that a vintage shirt?
I have no idea. But Jared, you're right. The amount of graphic tees I own is embarrassing to myself. They are like stuffed into this huge underbed drawer, and I fold them really nice too, so I can like thumb through them to see the different designs of what I want. And I'm like a sneakerhead, but a t-shirt head.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. But
it's cheaper.
It's cheap. Mm-hmm. But my other favorite one, my boyfriend got for me as a joke. I have a band called A People Person. That's like the moniker of my band. And he was in a shitty like New York City souvenir gift shop in Times Square. And he just saw a dumb shirt and it says, "Do I look like a fucking people person?" And he was like, it's hilarious. So he bought it for me and I'm like, there's only a few situations where I can wear this. I don't wear it often, but it's one of my favorite t-shirts.
Yeah. So if anybody knows your band and they see the shirt, "Do I look like a fucking people person?" They'll be like, yes, you do. Exactly. You are a people person. That's amazing. Yeah. All right. Now, Ross, I know that you mostly wear top hat, tails, full bow tie wherever you go.
I try to wear boating attire during the day and then change into dining attire around 5 o'clock.
Right, when you go to the parlor.
Right, when my valet comes to dress me and tell me that everyone's come for tea. But I wish I could answer you right now and tell you that I have one of those like shirts that they advertise on. I think they advertise mostly on Facebook. That's just like a block of text that's like, "Sorry, I'm from North Carolina." So that means I like rambling, gambling, fishing, and crabbing. Like, it just goes on for like 2 paragraphs. But no, I think my favorite one now is one that I also found in a thrift shop that was this is not a cool shirt by any stretch, but it's official. It's official Bloom County merchandise. I found
Bloom County. Wow. Did you even get that in UK, Abu? Bloom
County?
County?
Bloom County. What is that?
Oh God.
It's a comic strip.
It's a comic strip from the 80s.
Yeah, and it's like about
Bloom County.
Bloom County. It's like about it's about a penguin and a cat. But it's also pretty political.
Yeah, but like but honestly, like for a daily comic strip, I think it's pretty funny and like
yeah, totally.
Like,
and the art was cool.
Very cool. And just in case this like phenotype fooled you, I was like a huge like middle school dweeb who was like really into like newspaper comic strips. So when I found this shirt with Opus the Penguin on it, I was like really stoked because it was the kind of thing that I would have loved to have as a 12-year-old. And being an older person is about accumulating all the things you desired when you were a younger person.
Yes. At least in 2022 it is. Abu furiously Googling Bloom County right now.
Look at this is the image that came up.
They are.
Abu, don't feel bad. I'm not familiar with this, and I'm a big fan of comic. Like I had all the Far Side comics growing up, and Calvin and Hobbes, and the weird clown one that I forget the name of. But this is I've never
heard of Bloom County.
I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, audio listeners, when Abu said, "Look what came up," it's a picture of a penguin and a cat looking into tighty whitey underwear at their own genitalia.
Yeah. It's Opus and Bill and one of the maybe Milo or Binkley.
I think we had Dennis the Menace. Did you guys have Dennis the Menace?
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace, sure. Yeah.
We had the incorrigible Dennis the Menace. Yeah. A little scamp.
He's popular again, too. Everybody likes to put those decals on their big trucks of him peeing on something and being
that's
a little...
Calvin.
Well, that's Calvin. Yeah.
What?
Damn it! All right, guys. Erase that. Okay? Just go back and erase that. My credibility.
This is so great.
Your credibility on comic strip characters. Look, are you guys ready to enter... Now, all of that said, are you ready to enter Doskvol County?
Yeah, take me out of here. Man. I'm embarrassed.
All right, here we go. 1,000 years ago, this was a land of beauty and magic. Then came the cataclysm that blotted out the sun and ripped open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Doskvol is a metropolis of tenements and factories surrounded by crackling lightning barriers. Outside the city is a wasteland of vengeful spirits. Inside the city is a teeming hive of scum and villainy inhabited by twisted, despicable, backstabbing scoundrels like Chuk and his motley crew. The sun is
Chain
gone.
rattle,
The
chain
only thing
rattle,
that shines
chain
in
rattle.
Doskvol are the blades in the dark. Special Chuk edition. Chuk shall rise.
Chuck shall
All right.
rise.
We did it. There we go. I imagine just Chuk on the logo, Chuck's head coming out of the O or something. Haunted City doesn't have an O in it, but I imagine
Doesn't even have a nose. Exactly.
out of the A. Out of the A. All right. Guys, welcome back to the show. We are in need, perhaps, of a little recap. Last episode, Chuk finally completed his long-term project to build his own crew, and we met Chuk's crew, name TBA, TBD, if they come up with like a specific name. But right now, they're just Chuk's crew. We met Mathilda, a slide, who is sort of childlike in stature, but monstrous in... She's sort of Black Widow's rich families, but pretends to be a child and then knocks off her adoptive parents. Is that right, Sid?
Yes, that's true. And she has 2 long brown pigtails that she always wears, and it's never not creepy.
That's right. And she definitely creeped out a couple NPCs so far. We also met Canute. Canute, a leech from Skovlin, who betrayed his former crew by blowing up the warehouse they were in because he has a chip on his shoulder. Tell us about that, Ross.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be disrespected. He's so he's basically, this guy is Napoleon complex personified. He doesn't want to. He's a little guy who doesn't like to be crapped on by life. And he's on a vengeance mission against all of existence, it seems.
It was so visual for me last time, Ross. You described him shaped like a fire hydrant, and that has stuck with me.
He's built like a fire hydrant wearing a coat. Just imagine like a wizard brought a fire hydrant to life when he kind of like shambled out and he's covered in scars from industrial accidents and construction mishaps.
And I love that Chuk went out to find a new crew and recruited 2 people who are in the 4 foot to 5 foot range in height.
Hey, they're most reliable, man. Short people can trust them. Trust them with your life.
Size doesn't always matter.
Exactly.
TM.
Also, being short
Mathilda's
is good.
catchphrase.
Yeah. Also, Mathilda has a cold today, so it's really hard for her to talk in the range she talked in last episode.
I was going to say, you sound like an old lady today.
It's a little. I'll get there.
Listen, audio listeners, for Sydney furiously panting between lines. And then finally, we have returning the man who brought them all together, the Tykerosi hound, Chuk. Chuk, you had your crew together and you went and you saw the spy, Valeris, who's one of your contacts. Valeris gave you a job. Valeris told you that there was going to be a heist of a tattoo artist in the docks district of Doskvol. This tattoo artist was named Triss, and Triss supposedly had a supply of Leviathan blood somewhere in her tattoo shop.
Oh.
Valeris told you that the Billhooks, a savage gang of mercenary thugs, were going to come and do a smash and grab on the tattoo shop and get their hands on that Leviathan blood. Valeris wanted you to stop them. But let you know that he would be among the Billhooks, pretending to be one of their number during the smash and grab operation, and that you should injure him in some way to take any suspicion off him that he set them up. You arrived, and you were in a controlled position because you chose a deception approach, and Canute and Mathilda managed to convince Triss that Canute was a sailor who had seen a Leviathan, because Triss gives special tattoos to sailors who have sailed on the Leviathan hunting ships and who have actually seen a Leviathan. So Canute was in the chair. Mathilda was sort of the one doing the talking to kind of convince Triss of this. There were some other sailors in the shop waiting their turn, and Chuk and his dog Muck, his animal companion Muck, were posted up on a building nearby in a sniper-type position. The billhooks, along with Valeris, approached. They actually picked up the sailors who were disgruntled after a fight with Mathilda and Triss as part of their number due to some rolls where a conflict was rolled. They all entered the shop, and Mathilda and Canute were running interference on them pretty well, and that is when. Let me know if I'm forgetting anything, guys, but that is when Chuk entered with his heavily modified pistol. What kind of ammunition is it carrying, Chuk?
It's carrying electroplasmic ammunition.
And we know from a flashback that Canute souped up these pistols for you.
Mm-hmm.
That Canute did something to them that modified them. Chuk bursts into the shop. I think that there were 6 assailants. Now there are 5 because one ran off. One was scared off by Chuk and his pistols.
Yeah.
There are 5 assailants in the shop. Mm-hmm. We know that Mathilda has entranced Triss, the shop owner, and that Triss is now more suggestible. And Mathilda has recruited her in helping to defend the shop. And we saw that Triss has some sort of electrostatic tattoos all over her body that emit energy. Anyway, we ended on Chuk bursting into the shop, pointing his pistol at the leader of the billhooks, a guy who has like a top hat with like a feather in it, looking a lot like Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York. Chuk pulled his pistols, pointed them at the leader, and pulled the trigger.
Yep.
Okay. So, but right before you did that, Chuk, you said, I really want to find out what these pistols do now that they've been modified, right? Okay. And you also know that they've been modified, something to do with electrostatic ammunition, electroplasmic rather. And Chuk, or Abu, you know that murdering someone in cold blood, right in the middle of the city, would draw the attention and ire of the spirit wardens, don't you?
Oh, crap. Oh, my God, we don't have the crow's veil.
You don't have a crow's veil ability to hide corpses from the spirit wardens, do you?
Oh, no, we do not.
So
Yes.
can I pitch and that part of this souping up was to make these pistols, shoot out electroplasmic ammunition that will incapacitate but not kill? That these are non-lethal
Non-lethal
weapons
rounds?
now. Exactly.
It shunts the spirit or something.
It knocks the spirit out of the body for a moment.
Doctor Strange.
Holy
Strange,
shit.
man. You know, like...
You can pitch
man.
that, but let's see if it's true in this case. Chuk, you need to give me an action roll, as you fire on these billhooks.
So, normally I would roll Hunt. However, what I'd like to roll is Prowl. And the reason why I'd like to roll Prowl is because I didn't necessarily imagine myself bursting in. I imagined myself sneakily coming in and ambushing from behind.
Right. Okay. I think you did announce yourself. I could be misremembering.
I did announce myself. I was about to say I'd like to say something, but then I just stopped and shot.
Yeah, I think that's I'll allow a prowl. Absolutely.
Okay.
So give me that prowl roll. It's going to be, I'm going to tell you something. We don't know if these pistols are going to absolutely work the way you want them to.
Okay.
Or how many targets you can target at once with this strange ammunition. I'm going to make this risky for... you know what? I'm going to make it for great effect because you spent stress and a flashback to set this up. So if it works, it'll work in a big way.
And I'm going to push myself to get an extra die.
That sounds like a good idea. I'll give you a devil's bargain.
Oh, no need, my friend, because I got 2 6s.
Whoa!
Oh, shit.
Okay. So, with
You're
2
dealing
6s,
with master craftsmanship there.
that's a critical hit.
I don't know whether that's going to be good or bad, though, guys. Come on.
How many dice did you have altogether there?
4.
Okay, I'm gonna make a. You had 4 altogether. Oh my word! I'm gonna make a fortune roll, and that's gonna tell us how many of the billhooks you take out in one shot here.
Holy crap.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll 1 die, and if I roll a 6, that means you take out all of them. If I roll a 1, it means you took out the leader that you fired at.
Okay.
Right? Here we go. Guys, I rolled a 5. Chuk walks in, pulls the trigger on both pistols. This electrostatic blast of lightning arcs around the room. It hits the billhooks, and you see in that flash of lightning, you know how lightning, actually the lights go out in here for a second, and then there's just a flash of white for just a moment. And in that moment, you see the spirits of the billhooks leave their bodies, whoa, blasted out of their bodies. And then the lights come back on, and they're all over the floor, and Triss is there, kind of shaking and kind of with a dazed look on her face. And Canute and Mathilda are standing there with the bodies of the billhooks around them, but including Valeris. Now, the question to the crew is: does this count as injuring him in some way, so that it looks like he's indicted in this?
I think what we could do is rob everyone now.
Yes.
So I'm Bugsying the hat. I'm taking that hat. So that is Chuck's hat. But everyone,
That hat
please.
looks so good on you, Chuck. You should take
Thank you. Thank you. I just start waving the gun it's all I do love the hat.
That was also so impressive.
Well, it's because of Canute over here and his lovely craftsmanship.
You
Such a
did
brilliant work. Yes, did you?
Yes. You'll want to get rid of those spent cartridges somewhere where the residual electroplasm can't decay nearby. It will. You don't want the effects.
Canute is already thinking of ways the game master could screw them over.
Canute is trying on one of the other guy's hats, and it's going fully over his head. It's like, damn it.
And Mathilda's standing over the one. There was one woman in the crew, right?
There was, yeah.
She's standing over the woman, and she goes, I want her ponytail. And she cuts off the woman's ponytail.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she had a long braided ponytail, and now it's hanging from Mathilda's grubby little fingers. I assume grubby. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They're really delicate and beautiful, and she has really soft hands, actually, Jared. Thank you for asking.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so the situation is that all of them are unconscious right now, maybe more than unconscious, maybe astrally stunned with their spirits in the ghost realm, in the ghost zone. You're not sure how long they will be in that state. Triss is there and is ready, is just waiting for your commands, Mathilda. What do you do? Oh, you said you're searching the bodies. Look, Blades in the Dark doesn't really have a mechanic for looting things. That's more of maybe a Dungeons and Dragons thing. But what I will allow you to do is one more box than your loadout is now on your loadout. And it can be filled by anything that seems like the billhooks might have had on them.
I love it.
Okay. I think also the intention was to rob them blind, to make them, again, look, also Valeris, make him look as well like he's part and complicit. We're taking stuff from Valeris as well. So I think it's they're all they've all been treated the same in a way, you see? So then I feel like that's the kind of aim for it, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Can I take a little extra time, GM, to with that picking of Valeris pockets, with the intention of finding anything on his person that might suggest to me who he's actually working for?
Very good.
He never revealed why he wants this done or who he's doing it with.
Why don't we do a controlled action in this search to see how well you're able to do this and how long it takes. And my thing is, the risk here is that if it takes a long time, if you're going to do this thoroughly, if you do poorly, it takes a very long time.
Okay.
And if you fail, you don't find anything.
Okay. It seems like I'm gonna go with finesse as Canute's stubby yet preternaturally dexterous fingers slip into every nook and cranny, pocket, and hollow in Valeris attire. Here we go.
Controlled for standard effect, you'll find something.
Oh, brother.
You
That's
can
what they
resist
call-
that though, can't you?
You can, yes. Thank you for reminding us, Abu. You can resist anything that happens in the game. Would you
And
like
we
to
get an
resist?
extra die, by the way, my friend. Because of the gang that we are.
Oh right, yeah. Let me
a
resist with an
resistance.
extra die.
Oh,
And
Well,
now I
you
re-
get a better die. Is it to resist everything or certain things? Let's
I
make
think it's
sure.
everything, right?
I think it's just
Well,
resistance.
I think
the
it's
whole
okay.
player thinks that, but I, as the GM, may disagree, my friend.
I think
Let
it's
me
the
look.
whole game.
Well, I'm just going to look at the specific text
Yeah.
of the power.
Right,
make
we're
sure.
saying this because I rolled a 1, so it's a crit, which would be a critical failure.
You are correct, Abu. Forgive me. You get +1 die to all resistance rolls. Would you like to resist that consequence?
Yeah, of course, since I've
Heck
got this
yeah.
power especially. So remind me for resistance rolls, because we use this so rarely.
Yeah, no problem. Resistance rolls means we choose which attribute that you would be resisting with. Then you take 6 stress minus whatever you roll for that attribute.
Oh my God,
Attributes
okay.
are rolled using the vertical line of dots, not the dots across from the
Right,
action.
so I think I'm going to go with prowess here, because like those are the things more applicable to speed and
physical
physical
altercations, yeah.
prowess.
And, prowess
So-
is very good for Canute.
Yeah. So here we go.
It's your strongest attribute. So
Hit that,
6
and
stress.
I get 1 bonus dice.
There you go, 6.
I got a 6.
hey.
Now, what I
6,
should
a
have
5,
done
a
is
4, and a
tell
2.
you. So you take no stress from resisting that. What I should have done is tell you what the consequence was you were resisting. And what the consequence was that you were resisting is that, as I mentioned earlier, you spend a lot of time on it, okay? With a 1, and you get nothing. Okay, this time you get nothing, but you don't spend a lot of time on it. You kind of do a very efficient quick search. You find nothing. Perhaps that makes sense. If he's going on a mission with the billhooks, would he
wouldn't-
carry something that would incriminate him
Incriminate
in
him?
case? Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I think it was a great plan, but there's still something left to do here. I mean, so far you if you think you've accomplished what you want to accomplish, mission complete, mission achieved. But
I think there's a little
Mathilda.
extra.
And swinging the ponytail, she walks over to Triss and puts it around her neck, kind of like rubs it like a little scarf on Triss's neck. And she says,
I would like you to show us where you keep the Leviathan blood, please.
Triss kind of like has glassy eyes and kind of is still under the effects of the trance powder and smiles at you and says, "Can't do that. It's my livelihood. It's the special ingredient. That's why all the sailors come. Can't do it. Sorry, can't do it." And she kind of like gives you like a light hug.
and Mathilda hugs her back, and her hands just make like almost small little claws on her backside, and she pulls her back out from the hug and says,
If you don't show us where the Leviathan blood is, people are gonna destroy your shop. So I really think that we should get it out of here to keep it safe.
Shop's already destroyed. They already smashed everything up. I better start cleaning. And she starts picking up stuff and trying to hang pictures back on the wall.
Mathilda looks at Chuk, and she goes, and kind of like shakes her head towards the back room, and also makes eyes at Canute and is like,
Let's go.
Yeah, Canute is like turning out pockets and like popping open a locket on Valeris and like, yeah, there's nothing here. And like strides over.
Yeah, I'm going to follow.
Okay, so you enter that back room where there are, shelves and all kinds of inks and tools on the shelves, and there's also like a little desk where she probably does her business accounting and things like that. And you are trying to toss this room to find the Leviathan blood to keep it for yourselves. Is that right?
Before we do toss it, though, I'm going to kind of be like, you know who could be really handy at this? Muck? And like, Muck just sort of comes in.
Oh God, he's so sick.
Me and my boy, we have such a beautiful connection. He took my lip, you know. And I think what would be really useful is if we have him sniff out the place.
Lovely.
So I'm going to instruct Muck to sniff out the place if possible.
Okay, great. I think we still want to roll an action for Muck.
Sure.
What action do you think that Chuk could use to have Muck sniff out the place?
Maybe it would be Hunt?
Hunt sounds perfect, but the consequence here, or the danger here, is that it will take a long time because you're worried about the billhooks coming too. Shots have been fired. You may be worried about the authorities showing up. So if it takes a long time, that is dangerous to Chuk and his crew. So that is the consequence. Let's make it controlled because there's no threats coming at you at the moment.
Okay.
For standard effect, Muck will find something.
Okay. Do I push myself? No.
No, what's the worst that could happen? It takes 10 minutes. No big deal.
I'm going to push myself for an extra die.
Go for it.
Okay, that sounds good. Take the 2 scraps.
Yeah.
There we go. 6.
6. All right. So Muck is coming up with nothing, but this is only like a few minutes have passed, maybe 2 or 3, and then you suddenly notice that Muck, every time Muck goes over a certain square of wood in this back room, there's like a different kind of creak, and you notice that because you chose Hunt, Chuk. And so you're being very perceptive and kind of keeping track of everything in the room. So Muck hasn't found anything, but Muck is creating a certain kind of sound when he goes over a certain section of flooring.
I kind of walk over to that certain bit of flooring and I put my foot on it.
Yeah, there's some sort of door here in the floor under some carpet, under a rug.
Help me here, quick. And then I try and
Rip up the rug.
Yeah. So you find that there is a trapdoor leading all the way down into the water, and there's a chain going down into the water.
Amazing.
Right.
So then we have to get this chain up, guys. This is where the blood is kept, right?
Hold away, yeah.
All right, so I'll allow you to do that without any action roll. Obviously, you can go ahead and pull up that chain. Right now, I'm going to make some mystery rolls as you do that. Mm-hmm. Okay, and okay.
Oh,
So I'm ready. You pull up a canister. How to describe it? It is definitely something that is unique to Doskvol. It looks like a steampunk, canister that has all this piping coming off of it and a weird seal and like a pneumatic mechanism on the top, and it's very heavy.
Okay. I guess what we should do is find a way of covering and leaving the facility with this and attaching it from its chain, first of all. So what are we going to do?
Wait, is this like a sewer beneath it? Or
No,
like-
it's the water. It's the water of the sea itself. Triss's tattoo shop was located toward the end of a rotting dock.
Oh, wait.
Why don't-
Not toward the end, but at the edge of a rotting dock.
Yeah, Mathilda says,
Why don't we just escape this way? I mean, it seems so simple.
with a boat.
Can you not swim, Chuk?
No, I can swim. Look at me.
Remember all the tools you have as scoundrels when you are pulling a score.
Oh, we have tools to cut this chain and stuff.
Yes.
We have
Not exactly what I meant, but you could certainly cut the chain if you
We could
like.
also.
I'm sorry, Jerry,
someone
did you
could
mean-
also
did you mean we have
flashback
a
to arrange a
boat?
boat.
Oh,
Oh, yes. That's very true.
I love when the GM's like, "Hey guys, do you remember how to play the game?" Or
It's like, oh,
Well,
so it'd be
I've
cool if we had
forgotten-
one here.
I've forgotten how to play the game plenty of times, so I feel I owe the players an
Flashback.
occasional hint.
So I mean, I was thinking like could flashback to arrange a boat, but the social graces are not really Canut's strong suit. But I could perhaps build one.
I think Mathilda could flashback, and this could go even deeper. Mathilda flashback, she knew the sailors who were in the tattoo parlor earlier because she met them at a bar and had flirted with them and like became friendly with them. And she got them to tell them about all of this. Like, oh, we're going to the tattoo parlor. Oh, how are you getting there? Oh, we just take the boat over from the docks and we park it underneath and blah, blah, blah. Then you don't have to pay for parking type of thing. And she took in all this information.
how much does parking cost in Doskvol?
You have to dock the boats.
Boat parking. Go ahead.
You
Go
have
ahead.
to dock the boats, and there's poor orphans who make you pay so they can tie it to a big rock.
I love where you're going with this. Go ahead.
So basically, she got all this information and then purposefully remembered that they were going to be there just so she could make a big scene and like bother them basically and kick them out so that they would like be all pissed off and like not wait for their tattoo and take their boat and leave if stuff went down. They're going to be busy like, hey, these people are, go drinking or whatever. So she's going to check to see if their boat is potentially still under the docks where they said they were going to park it when they went to get their tattoos.
Well, I'll tell you something. If she pays for 2 stress, it's there.
Okay. I didn't even take any stress yet. I'm going to do it. And it's not like a boat, but it's like a dinghy. It's like a really tiny,
Right.
they rode over.
Yeah. Very good. It's there. Let me ask you this. You mentioned giving it to an orphan. Is there an orphan in the boat currently? Is there a ragamuffin, a street urchin?
Yes.
Guarding a boat.
They
Okay.
paid an orphan to watch the boat.
Yeah, and this orphan's name is Wiggles. Okay, so Wiggles looks up at you and goes, "Yeah, Mom, I've got it."
Oh, Wiggles, you are so darling. I'm gonna buy you a cake. All the cakes and creams that you could ever want. You're gonna eat your little heart out.
And then she turns back and she goes,
Oh, Wiggles has the boat. Everything's fine.
Great. And I start trying to put the...
Let's load it on.
Let's
Load
load
it on. Is it still attached to the
catch.
chain?
It is, yeah. The you can get the canister off of the chain easily, and there is a chain leading down to the boat right now.
You can clamber down the chain and pull the door, the hatch shut behind us.
Okay,
Yeah.
so who's going first down the chain?
I will.
Okay, and who's going last down the chain?
And I mean, if Mathilda
In
is
fact-
having all this parlay with the orphan, then it sounds like Canut's going last.
I tell you what, actually. No. I will go last, for you are my crew, and I love thee. And I will hold my gun and keep watch.
Okay. You're holding your gun to keep watch. Everything seems like no problem, and Canute and Mathilda are in the boat with Wiggles.
Right.
Question. When we looked at this container, did it look similar to the stuff that she brought out for Canute for the tattoo? Like, can we tell?
No, it's possible. I think it's very easily surmised that she takes a little bit out of the canister and puts it into kind of like a little ink well.
Okay. Just making sure that we're not way off base and for some reason this is not what we want. But
Yeah, what a nasty trick for me to play on
I
you.
know.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
catalog that for later, but right now it's easily surmised that that's probably how she uses the stuff in the canister. Chuk, you know what? For keeping watch, give me a roll. You've said you're keeping watch. I have to be true to that. Give me an
roll.
action roll.
Survey.
Obviously, if you fail, you've missed something key.
Okay. It's failed. Position is controlled
Position is controlled.
for standard.
And for standard effect.
Okay. 2, but I'm gonna resist.
Okay, the consequences is that you missed something. So I guess that if you if you resist, no, that's okay. If you resist, then you will notice something. Okay, you
cool.
will notice something. It might not be the thing that you most need to notice, but you will notice something.
Okay.
So go ahead and take 6 stress minus. I think in this case, the attribute that you need to resist
insight?
with insight. Yes, thank you.
Right.
6.
Great. You take no stress to resist this consequence, and what you notice as you are about to climb onto the chain is you look down and you see another kind of dinghy headed toward your dinghy.
Oh shit!
Might be
Of course, they
build
would have
it back
got.
up.
They would have found a way of
Getting to their boat.
to the boat. So okay. What I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna go down, and then I'm just gonna get my piss. I'm gonna know
As you start to go down the chain,
right.
suddenly, dun, 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 footsteps upstairs. You're going down the chain. Triss appears at the top of the trapdoor, grabs onto the chain. All of her tattoos light up with blue light, and electroplasmic energy goes down the chain. It's a perfect conduit, and you are about to be blasted by volts of electroplasmic charge. What do you do?
I'm gonna let go of the chain.
Letting go will definitely get you down. Well, gravity will take it from there, but I need some sort of action roll to stop you from completely overturning the boat below or falling into the drink where you can't quite reach it. Something I need an action roll.
I'm gonna do a finesse.
Finesse.
Yeah, as I'm falling.
Yes. Trying to land just so.
Just so.
Yes.
Just
okay.
perfectly. Finesse. I'm gonna. It's gonna. Is it position is risky or what?
Let's call this position desperate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there will be a big consequence if you fail this.
Okay.
Okay, wait,
And
can
you'll
I-
potentially take harm from Triss because you didn't let go fast enough.
Can I also move Wiggles? Right, I'm like lining him up right under where
break
he's
his
gonna fall.
Does that count as an assist? That must be an
Counts as an
assist.
assist. Would you
Yes.
please take 1 stress, Mathilda,
Yes.
and give Chuck an extra
Happily.
die for his finesse roll?
Anything for Chuck.
There we go.
I'm gonna push myself as well for this.
Oh my god.
So
Oh,
it's
2 more stress.
2 more extra. Yeah. Okay.
Urchins come in handy in many
Here we
ways.
go.
They're so expendable. Here you go.
Trust the die. Come on, baby.
Here we go. A 1, a 2, and a 1. And this is when, as a GM, I have to stop myself from smiling really big. I'm having to control my face right now, and
You're not.
it's-
You're smiling.
I'm sorry. It's painful.
Part of
Okay.
me wants to know. Like, I don't even want to resist this. I actually want to know what's gonna happen. So please.
Oh, you can resist it though. Just to be clear.
Part of me wants to know.
Okay. Electrostatic energy courses through Chuck's body. I mean, every nerve is on fire. His body becomes paralyzed. He does let go of the chain, but not before taking, let's call it a level 2 harm. Fried, we'll call it. And then Chuck falls from the chain, does not land on Wiggles, lands out in the cold, dark water, but Chuck is currently unable to swim because his body is completely shocked and all of his muscles and nerves are contracted. And there's
should've
another
fucking
boat
resisted.
headed toward you.
Fuck.
You probably should have resisted, but I told you it was desperate. So that is what is happening currently. Chuck is sinking, and there's another boat headed toward you. It's up to Canute and Mathilda now. What do you do?
Do you have any ideas, Canute?
You can see Canute like reach for the oars for a second, as if he's just gonna row away. Like
Fair enough.
Well, that's kind of how Chuk's crew operates.
I mean,
and maybe he just like eyes connect with you for a moment, just like, are we? And just one oar starts working to turn the craft around, and I'll reach an oar over to Chuk's body.
Triss lands in the boat.
Cool.
And she has a weapon too, by the way. She's got like a big, nasty looking needle, and it's currently crackling with electrostatic energy, and she swipes it straight at Mathilda.
Okay.
By the way, the boat is shaking and might overturn in a moment.
Oh my god.
And Chuk is sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, what do you do, Mathilda?
Okay. I do have a cane sword. Because I took
Okay.
a moderate load out. So I think she would, from somewhere in her puffy Lolita dress, it was strapped to her thigh. She like spins out this cane sword and goes to. Can I block this hit? Can I like use my?
Oh, well, let's have a full fencing duel on a dinghy that's
Great.
kind of tilting in the water. I think that's a great idea. So you'd like to parry and perhaps
Yeah.
even thrust back if
Yeah.
the dice allow it. Am
If the
I
dice
wrong?
allow it. Yeah,
Okay.
I would like to.
What action are you using to do this?
Trying to decide. I think I'm gonna have to use, because for my prowess, I only have prowl. I don't really have like finesse or wreck. So I think I'm gonna use my Rook's Gambit and take 2 more stress to use my 3 in sway for wreck. And
Wreck.
just
You're trying
yeah.
to wreck her.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
I'm trying to knock her off the boat. I just want to get her off the boat. And also she has that electric cracking energy. And I'm like, what would happen if she touches water? So I'd like to just try to like knock her in the head off balance off the boat.
that sounds like a wreck to me. Go ahead and roll. And Rook's Gambit is coming in really handy here. This is going to be a desperate roll. And it will be for standard effect because Triss is not a higher tier than you. So you'll be able to take her on head to head. If she was
Jared.
a higher tier, yes, go ahead.
Just so I don't mess up the sheet because we're using it within Roll20, can I just hit my sway to roll since it has my 3 points?
Right, that's your Rook's Gambit, so that makes sense. And make sure to also mark, ladies and gentlemen, your desperate actions because they're important
Oh,
to your
yeah,
XP later.
Oh, so
okay,
this
so
one's
this is
desperate, standard.
yes, and you'll just like mark that you took a desperate action in, I think, prowess.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
It's in the little those little
nice.
bars. What? How'd you do?
I just rolled a 6. I got a 5, 6, and a 2.
A 5, 6, and a 2. Very well done. You come up, you swat the needle out of Triss's hands, and then your little arm comes back around, and because you're of shorter stature, you take her legs out from under
Yes.
her, and she
Yes.
falls down into the water as well. All right. So splash, now Triss and Chuk are potentially sinking into the water. You see the water kind of like bubble and boil for a second when Triss goes in because she has that weird eel-like quality to her, let's just call them magical tattoos. So let's look at the situation. There's another dinghy moving toward you. It's just gotten closer, although because of the lights in Doskvol being just here and there and not covering everything, you can't quite tell who or what is in it yet. Chuk is a little lower in the water than he was a minute ago. And I think Canute hasn't acted for a moment. So Canute, you said you were reaching out your oar to Chuk?
Right, reaching it to fish him closer to the boat so we can haul him in.
Okay, so let me understand. For someone to be saved by an oar, they would need to be able to grab the oar, correct?
He's fully unconscious.
Yeah, we got to
He's
go
not unconscious.
in the water.
In fact, he's very conscious. He just can't move for a moment.
Paralyzed. Okay.
But I'm rigid though, right?
That's right.
So you could technically, if
Then
I
I could
fell
just
like
push him.
this, find a way of maybe hooking it. Like if I fell like this, you could probably hook it in my arm.
Yeah.
Pull me that way if I'm rigid.
Interesting. What would be your approach here, Canute?
I mean, that sounds like finesse to me to really like
It does to me as
delicately
well.
get it in
Scoop
there.
them up.
Scoop him.
Yeah.
Trying to give him I'm giving him a gentleman's scoop. Here we go.
5. Success with a consequence.
Game, man.
Okay, so the success with the consequence is that as you are pulling Chuk into the water, out of the water rather, it's very awkward. It's very clumsy, right? And you can see that it takes too long. It takes like a full minute, which is very important right now. And Triss grabs back onto the boat and is climbing back in. At the same time, Muck has fallen into the water and is like swimming for the boat as well. But there's too many people in the boat already, including Wiggles. And now this other dinghy is close enough that you hear a voice from the dinghy go, "Stop where you are! Stop, all of you! Hand over the Leviathan blood!" And that is where we are going to take a short break.
Oh my god, man.
We're going to find out when we come back if they get out of this. It looked like a perfect job for the first half, and then all of a sudden everything went to shit. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Welcome back. And our crew finds themselves in a very precarious position. You're in a boat beneath the tattoo shop. It's a tiny little dinghy. Triss, the tattoo artist, is trying to climb back into it, and another boat has approached and has someone is pointing a gun at you. I don't know if I described that before, but here we go. I just let it slip. Someone, a shadowy figure, is pointing a gun at you and demanding that you give them the blood. But on the bright side, Chuk is in the boat now, and Muck is swimming toward it, so you have your entire crew together.
Am I still paralyzed?
Actually, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll to kind of get moving again.
Okay.
The consequence if you don't is that you're going to take some sort of permanent harm here. Let's see how well your body does here.
Permanent harm, man. Right,
Well,
okay.
I don't mean permanent forever, but I mean you'll take some sort of harm.
Okay, I'm gonna attune. I think it would be attune, right? Because I guess this
interesting.
Is
Yeah, it's electroplasm. Yeah, absolutely you can attune to try to kind of clear this electroplasmic poison out of your system, right?
Okay. Is it risky or?
I'm gonna say it's risky, and it will be for great effect. If you succeed, you'll get rid of it. Actually, I'm gonna make it desperate for great effect, because if you fail, you've taken some sort of harm that affects your rolls, right?
Great, okay.
And remember also...
Oh, what? Go on.
Well, I just want to remind you that you've already taken some harm. You've already been fried. Yes. So your rolls already have a problem. And let me see what that...
Crap, it's -1 die. Okay, so...
Yeah, so would you please, if you already rolled, roll again with -1 die.
Okay.
Because I think it does, it's only if the harm would affect this, but I think it would.
Okay. If I did desperate, standard, no, great effect. But I wouldn't have a bonus die. So, -1 die. Okay, cool.
And a 1 and a 1.
So I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna resist this now.
Wait,
Yes,
hold
you
on.
can.
Well, hold on. It was 0 dice because you were rolling with -1. So no matter what,
Yeah.
you would get you only have 1 dice. So you would have failed.
No, because if what could have happened is, let's say I got a 5 and then a 4, I would have had the 4. So you go for the lowest when you have no dice.
Whenever you have 0 in an action, that's how you roll it.
I'm gonna resist.
I didn't know that.
It's okay. I'm gonna resist whatever you're gonna throw at me.
Yeah.
So I guess it's resolve, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. With 1 bonus die. 6. Thank you.
Nicely done. Okay. So you take no stress.
Resilient.
And rather than having this poison, you don't take the harm. Well, this worked out very well for you. You take 0 stress, you don't take the harm, and you can move again. Okay. So that's good for you. You're in the boat. Muck is swimming toward it. Triss is climbing up in, and now Triss looks like her skeleton is glowing, almost like Selyak Khan. Her skeleton is glowing through her body. She looks like a demon. She's so angry, and she's reaching for Mathilda, of course. And then, of course, a shadowy figure. You can just see a little bit of from Triss's like glowing body. You can see the gun, the barrel of this figure's gun, as it points toward you from another boat, saying, "Give me the blood. Give me the blood now." What do you do?
If I can move, can I don't know, in some unhumanly manner, because I had a fine pair of pistols and I've only shot with one bullet on one. Could I, with the other one, just suddenly just kind of be like, just shoot? Like, I think I'm gonna aim for, because how are they aligned? Because the aim is to almost shoot Triss, because she looks like she's about to blow up, right? So I'm trying to think, like, if I shoot her with electroplasmic ammunition, I'm able to push her back into the other boat and essentially cause whatever madness is going to happen there.
Wow, that's an incredible,
Michael Bay,
idea.
Way you going about it? Thanks. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. It would require, I think, a crit to do all of that.
Okay.
But you can certainly try for one.
All right.
Is anybody? I'm going to make you a devil's bargain, though.
Okay.
If you get a complication, even just a complication, these pistols no longer work. They completely overheat and fry. Here's the addition to the devil's bargain. If you fail, these pistols hurt you as they explode.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, great. How
You're
many
shooting
dice
at
do you
Triss, right?
Pardon?
You're shooting at Triss.
Yeah.
Great.
Shooting at Triss to hopefully hit her into
to
the
ricochet.
other.
Blast
you see what I
her
mean?
into the opposing
Look.
boat. Great.
I am the prodigy of Michael Bay, guys. So it's it's part of that whole thing, you know. Ever seen Bad Boys? Yeah. Well,
I have to add one more thing to this negotiation, and I think it really, really affects it. So before you make your roll and agree to this, if you do not full succeed, you will not be shooting her into the other boat. You'll just be kind of taking her out. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. All right.
So
very good.
It sounds like a desperate roll then.
I would call this it's not, because it just has a devil's bargain, so it's risky.
Okay, for what kind of effect? Standard?
Standard effect, yeah.
Okay, I'll have -1 die, but I'm going to push myself to get that die back.
Okay. 2 more stress.
That's 2 more stress, that's fine. Here we go, Stressville.
And you get the +1 die from the devil's bargain.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Can I assist?
You can. How are you assisting?
Because you're now on the boat, right?
Yeah.
So can I just like, can we say that like just like maybe Canute almost like crouches down so that you can like steady your shot.
Steady
and he's
the
like,
shot.
almost like holding your arm bazooka style and like aiming it.
Man.
and manipulating the cogs and wheels that he has put onto the pistol to try to improve the quality of the shot.
Great. That is a stress for Canute. And
Can I assist too?
Oh my God. Tell me how you would try, and I'm going to see if there's too many assistants here. How would you try, Mathilda?
I already have my cane sword out. So I was going to, as she's trying to crawl back in the boat, I was just fighting with Triss, so I assume she's still like my main target. I was just going to try to cut her fingers off as she's trying to like grab onto the edge of the boat so that she lets go of the boat and is an easier shot for Chuk to hit. Because if she's not holding on, there's like barely any resistance. So just like, whoo, fly backward. So.
Okay, you know what? I would like that to happen. Should I?
You don't
allow
have
it to.
to. You don't have to.
You know what? I'm gonna call. I hate to say no to anybody ever.
It's okay.
But I'm gonna say too many assistants here. There's a small. This is a small dinghy. It's shaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. How many dice do you have for this? What action are you using?
Hunt.
Okay, and how many dice now?
Now 4.
I would say it's almost an assured success, but let's find out. Here we go.
Let's see.
Canute lowers a pair of goggles over to protect his eyes from the blast.
It's a 5.
Success with a consequence.
Right.
Here's what happens. You don't fully blast her into the other boat, but you blast her into the water where she goes flying out into the water, like crackling. She looks like a comet. She takes off as your blast hits her, and she goes far. Like, I'm talking like 30, 40 feet, flying up out of the water and then back in. You've totally taken Triss out of the running here. Here's the consequence. Your boat starts to capsize.
However, can we resist the consequence?
Starts to capsize.
It starts to capsize. You cannot resist something that's starting to happen. It starts to capsize.
Okay.
And someone needs to do something about that now, or it is going to capsize.
I got this.
Mathilda says, and she takes Wiggles' hands, his little tiny baby hands. Oh wait, no, capsize like there's a hole in it, or capsize like we're tipping?
Flips over.
Tipping. It's
it's
flipping
just-
over because the blast from Chuk's pistol was so strong that it moved the boat to almost capsize.
Got you. Okay, so, how
Throw
could
Wiggles off.
I mean, I was gonna throw Wiggles off, but I'm like, would that help us? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think regardless, she goes, she reaches
Couldn't hurt.
into his little pocket and takes her coin back that she gave him, and then she goes,
You don't need that where you're going.
and she takes his head and slams it into the water over the side of the
my
boat and
God.
flips him off the boat.
Oh dear.
Losing a little weight. I'm not quite sure how the physics of all this works. I don't know if you'd have time to get the coin, but regardless, let's have an action roll to see how this goes.
Okay. Okay, I think I want this to work because I don't want the boat to tip over. But I don't know if I want to use my Rook's Gambit again to use my highest thing. Maybe I'll just do... What could I use? Prowl?
Well, here, let me set this all up for you, because I think that just throwing the orphan off, it's all happening in seconds. The boat's about to flip over. Throwing the orphan off is going to give you a limited effect, meaning that something's going overboard. Someone or something, and I'm going to roll fortune dice to find out, with limited effect. You can push yourself to get standard effect. And standard effect means you guys all stay on the boat, nothing goes over.
And can I...
Does that make sense, Sid?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
push myself.
Okay, take 2 stress.
God, I'm
and
really
you're not
stressed
getting an
out.
extra die, you're just making sure it barely works, right? You're getting more effect.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna... I know this is gonna take me out the game, but I'm gonna I'm gonna assist with Muck. And so Muck can, almost throw... As Muck climbs on, he'll throw his weight off, like he'll just stumble onto the boat to try and help stabilize it by accident, but it will completely knock me out of the game.
No, then don't do that.
I'm ready for this. We don't want
You
to lose
have
this.
1 stress left?
Yep. We got this. I believe
We got
in you
this.
guys.
We're gonna
routine.
That just means we have to be
Routine.
the closers.
Yeah,
You guys have to be the closers. It's all good. Don't worry.
have
Don't
a
worry.
gun. You
Just
have
let
the
go.
gun.
Let go. Just let go.
Oh no, I'm on the door in the middle of the ocean. and you're-
Literally, just just let go. Just let go.
Okay, you do what you want to do.
There we go. That's it. Done.
Awesome.
You got an extra die.
You've got
So,
an extra die now.
It's on you.
Mathilda, and I think that what happens to Chuk is he finally kind of expires from his, not expires, he doesn't die. He passes out from his wounds, like he's just had that rally for a minute to help you all, and now he's like, ugh, and after he commands Muck, he just plops down unconscious, passed out inside the boat. So you still have Chuk with you. Mathilda, tossing out the orphan, pickpocketing him as you do so. Tossing an orphan out of a boat is maybe my favorite Haunted City roll to come up in a while.
There's a lot riding on this orphan toss.
Thank God for this orphan.
What action are you rolling?
Urchin.
I want to use Sway because it's my highest.
Well, you got the rook.
How
I do.
often can you use Rook's Gambit?
I don't know, actually. I didn't know if it was a one-time use, but also...
It'll tell us
I-
right here. Rook's Gambit take 2 stress to roll your best action rating. So as long as you take 2 stress, you can do it.
The thing is, I only have 2 stress left.
Oh man, don't do it.
Should
Don't
you
do
take
it.
yourself out too and leave it up to
don't do
Canute?
it. Don't do
I
it.
don't know. Canute, I
What's
don't
your
know
other?
what to
What's
do.
your other? What's your other role?
Go for it. Go for it.
No, wait, no.
Or not. I don't know.
Can I just make the argument to do prowl as I throw him off?
Absolutely, that would make sense.
I'm gonna do that then because I get the extra die. I have 1 in prowl, so this will give me 2 die, which
You're sneaking.
seems like it'll be okay.
Okay, I'll give you a devil's bargain.
Give me that devil's bargain.
If you fail or get a complication, the Leviathan blood falls to the bottom of the ocean.
You know what? Wait. This is not the worst thing that can happen because these people in the other boat want the Leviathan blood. We were going to steal it anyway. We know it's at the bottom. We can come back and get it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that easy to dive into these waters.
It's not. These waters are very bad.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it.
Did you say fail or get a complication? So anything other than a 6 this
Oh,
time?
wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't take that devil's bargain.
Okay, no problem.
No.
Roll
If it
your
was
2
just
dice.
if it was just a failure, I would do it. Okay, so sorry, it's risky.
For standard.
Risky for standard
So
effect.
standard. Okay.
Yeah, but with 2 die.
Yeah.
1 bonus dice. Okay. Here we go.
A 5 and a 5.
See there? Yeah.
So you stop the boat from overturning by tossing Wiggles into the water. White mist, don't do it to me! You stop so you're getting rid of that ballast, that weight suddenly makes the boat go upright again. And Muck helps you. Muck actually leaps onto the orphan and pushes him under. That is when there's got to be a complication here, right? There's got to be a complication of some sort. What should the complication be? Well, I think that the gentleman in the other boat is through waiting and fires on you.
Oh my god.
Well.
Okay.
Let's roll a fortune die to see whom he fires at. This is the fortune die for Mathilda. This is the fortune die for Canute.
There's also the dog in the boat.
Oh yeah, it's Chuk.
Yeah, there is Muck. I think Chuk is like
You're
laying down in the boat,
Yeah.
so he's not really a target. Listen, I rolled a 1 for both of you, so I think that this assailant has 2 pistols and fires at you both. Both of you have not electroplasm, but real bullets coming at you right now.
No, but he failed.
What do you mean he failed?
Those
Because
were
he
our
rolled 2 ones. Or were they for you?
No,
for
those
you?
were fortune die
Oh,
to see
shit, okay.
who he's firing on.
Right. Oh, okay, I see.
And both
Damn.
were rolled unluckily for our.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
I should have explained that. Thank you. All right,
so-
bullets are coming at you. What do you do?
So we've been shot at.
This is going great.
Just run away, guys.
What
Just run
can
away.
I do? What can I do?
Action rolls, guys. What are you going to do to avoid this barrage of bullets that's coming toward you?
I mean, finesse. I'm going to dive to the bottom of the rowboat.
Okay, that makes total sense. So I should be clear too. The way you're able to use an action roll right now is there's not like one bullet coming for each of you that you're like dodging in this second, but the guy's clearly open fire, gunslinger style, and you're trying to get out of the way of the shots. Yes, you can use finesse to dive down and take cover in the boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna use prowl for the same thing. I'm just quickly ducking down. I'm very short. We're very short anyway,
Right.
canonically. So
It's to our advantage.
Oh,
We should
good
get a
point.
we should get a bonus dice to both our rolls. 'Cause we're
You're not going to get a
so-
bonus dice, but get this. I'm going to make it so that it is instead of risky, I think it's controlled.
Okay.
And then you'll get I got that wrong. It's desperate because you'll take harm if you fail, but you'll get great effect, meaning that not only do you duck down and get out of his line of fire, you stay there. You can't. He can't. The boat is deep enough, and you're down low enough that you can act, maybe fire against him or do something, but he can't get like a good angle on you because of how the boats are positioned. Okay. So it's desperate, but for great effect because you're shorter.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, here we go. That's
You can resist. You can resist.
Canute gets a 5,
Got
which
a
means
5.
success with a consequence.
Sydney, you can resist.
What do I do as resistance again? I have to take
You just roll your prowess, and you get an extra die.
but I have to take stress or
Depending on how much you.
Yeah, so
For
you take
example,
6
you get-
stress minus the roll you make. So if
Yes.
you roll a 5, you get 1 stress. If you roll
That's
a 1,
right.
you get 5.
But you haven't even failed yet. We don't need to resist consequences
Oh, it's not a
yet.
fail. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
Is
he
it-
hasn't
so
failed
it's-
yet.
That's successful.
He's
what's
just
the-
dodging
sorry.
the gunfire. No, that's okay. Good to know the rules, but there is gunfire coming at you, Sid. You were going to use prowl. Let's have that roll first.
I did.
just
I rolled
did.
prowl. It was a 3. I did fail.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, I'm. Am I GMing this thing, or are we?
I rolled really fast because I got nervous.
You know, here's what happened. It's because we're playing on Roll20. Yours just went off, and then I was looking at Ross's, who came in a minute later. Yes, you rolled a 3. You failed, and so Abu's advice is good. You can resist. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the dots in your prowess. That's the vertical line of dots.
Yes.
And you're taking 6 stress, which will take you out of the score unless you can roll. How many points of stress do you have left? 2?
2, but I feel like I might have done something wrong because I took 6 stress for something earlier in this game, but I think I took it mistakenly because I thought maybe you said take 6 stress.
All right,
were-
let's roll back the tape and find out. Look, okay, everybody pause while I carefully watch the episode.
No.
And we'll find
It
out
was
when
literally-
Sid took too much stress.
Listeners right now are just going stupid.
Well, here's you could never be stupid, and please never say that about yourself. But here is where I become a nasty GM.
I did it to myself.
ultimately falls upon the player to keep
Yeah.
careful track of their stress, and if they do not and add too much stress, that's
on
where
me.
they're at.
I think I got confused at some point when we were talking about the Bravos thing that we get where we can use resistance, and I thought as a collective group we take 6 stress so that somebody can do something, but it's fine.
Wow, what kind of... That's a demonic game
I
that you're
know.
playing there,
Well, this
man.
game
That's
is demonic.
It already is, exactly. So you're like taking it to another level.
But I think it's fine.
It's too
fine.
exciting to have you potentially out of the game right now.
I know.
That 6 stress stays there.
So I'm gonna click my prowess
Yeah.
and let's
And add a
just
die. Add a die.
add
add
a
a
die,
bonus.
and let's see what happens with 1 bonus dice.
Come on.
Shit, man.
A 1
4.
and a 4.
Well, I did bad.
That is bad. So even with 6 stress minus the 4 resistance, you still take 2 stress.
2.
You are out of the score. So I believe that Mathilda takes cover, but you
It is
now
like-
see that Mathilda. Please describe to me, actually, Sid, why Mathilda is out of the score right now.
Mathilda dropped to the bottom of the boat so fast that she slammed her chin into the ground, just like dropped down and just absolutely cracked her chin into the ground and gave herself instant whiplash, and she passed out, like just passed out on contact. So she didn't get shot, but she is unconscious right now.
Canute,
Next
you have
to Chuk, just like laying next to him. She goes, Chuk. And then she just like,
they're actually kind of cuddling in a sort of cute way.
All right.
All
so
right.
Canute is in the bottom of the boat, like pressed up against the gun wall, and sees like Chuk unconscious, stiff. Sees this horrible like chin bludgeoning of Mathilda Webb, like she's like bleeding profusely from the
Bleeding,
mouth.
but she looks
and,
like a little
cuddled up.
angel.
A little angel Muck is snarling and gnashing at the unfortunate body of the urchin who's thrashing in the water. I'm going to flashback.
Oh, this is a great idea.
God.
Here we go.
Before you do, let me just resolve your roll. You rolled a 5, okay?
right.
Which means success with a consequence.
Right.
The success is you don't get shot.
Great.
The consequence is you don't have good positioning to act against him. Like your position is like really awkward. Like in order to do something right now, even row the boat, you would have to expose yourself to fire again. What is your flashback?
Just like contacts were made with those sailors, we know where this tattoo shop is. So I want to flash back to 20 hours ago. And down at the docks, there's a little figure like wiring and screwing things into the pylons of the pier underneath the tattoo shop. And you can see little packets like dangling and pressed in the struts and girders holding up the whole pier. And so I want to flash back that I have rigged the pier for explosives.
Oh my God. Yes,
Please
Ross.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. Please take 3 stress,
Okay?
because I think that's pretty involved.
That's big work.
Okay, now here's the other thing I want you to know. You took the special ability Saboteur.
That's right.
When you wreck, the work is much quieter than it should be, and the damage is hidden from casual inspection. I believe, if it's okay with you, that right now, I want you to make a roll. If you choose to make wreck, this will not be an explosion that people know as an explosion. It will look like the dock just rotted.
Right. It'll look like an accident.
Amazing.
It'll look like
causes.
an accident. Does that work for you? Are you willing to use wreck?
I'm willing to use wreck, but I'd like to push myself.
That's a good idea. So that's 3 stress for the flashback and 2 for your pushing.
So that puts me all the way. That gives me 1 stress. I have 1 stress between me going out as well.
God.
Okay,
So-
man.
What is this?
This is
It's a wreck,
this is
right?
come on. This is desperate
Desperate as hell.
for a great effect.
Great.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
You got this, Ross. You got this.
Bonus die.
An extra die,
1.
right? Don't forget that extra die, baby.
I got that extra die. Here we go. So, yeah, he's just like, perhaps you see, just like there in the bottom of the boat, the scarred face of Canute. It's just like, and up from his wrist comes a little like handle with a plunger, just like, all right, there we go. And then he presses it, and here's the roll.
A 6. The charges go off, and they are not even that loud. They're like, yeah. And
Yeah.
suddenly, the entire dock, and then a deafening noise as it crashes down into the channel, and it totally crashes on top of whoever that was firing at you, and totally sinks his boat as the entire dock and Triss's tattoo shop
Oh my God.
splash down
All
into the
bodies
water.
as well, man.
The bill hooks are in there as well.
Oh my God, as is Valeris as well.
Oh, as is Valeris.
Now it will really look like it was not an inside job.
I love how Valeris was like, don't do anything crazy. Just like beat me up. That's it.
This is a little Woody
Okay.
Rossi, man.
So, in the boat, by the way, your boat is like really listing, but it's not going to overturn. Muck suddenly climbs up into it and then does that thing dogs do where they get water off of them.
Yeah.
But the water is sort of black and inky as it hits your face. And you're now looking at Muck, who is like, and you're looking at little Mathilda, you know, and Chuk resting peacefully, and right beside them, the canister of Leviathan blood.
I take the oars and row into the night. The permanent
Score complete.
Oh my God.
God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
we have a little.
So stressful.
That was really great Blades in the Dark play, you guys. I hope you are proud of yourselves, pushing yourselves to the limit to get it done. And thank you, Sydney, for taking extra stress just to make sure it was nice and exciting. All right. We have time to give Chuk's crew a little bit of downtime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, let's cut to several days later, several cycles later. How are you getting rid of this Leviathan blood somehow? Are you going to sell it, or are you going to keep it for right now and just take your payout from Valeris?
As a leech, I want to keep some of it, but I think we should move the rest for coin.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in your hideout, the old train car, and you're discussing this. And I think, look, this stuff is hard to move because it is a highly volatile, highly, profitable chemical. So I need an action roll. This is sort of what you call free play. We're not quite into the downtime stuff yet, just to move this stuff. If you fail, it doesn't mean that suddenly you get arrested or the billhooks come and attack you. It just means that right now you're really having trouble finding a buyer or finding a way to move it without people tracing it back to you. And probably your slide should do this because slides are better at this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Mathilda is fully patched up from her chin injury, and she looks good again. And able to go into like the more wealthy upper class area where she knows all these rich people want to do is to get high, whatever, disappear into their fantasies. So she starts to very subtly push at parties this new thing that everybody's doing. It's a little mix of this, it's a little mix of that. And it's the Leviathan blood. She's just kind of playing it off like it's a new drug type. If that can work, does that make sense? Like, would that be what they want, or should she just straight up be like, "Who wants to buy this Leviathan?"
It's interesting. It's interesting. Instead of like going for gangs, right, or perhaps like cults or scientists who might have some sort of industrial use for it, or gangs that would have a use for it. Who knows what use the underworld would have use for it. You've gone to the Doskvol elite, right? And you finally are perhaps connected with a mysterious group that really, really wants it. But let's see if you're able to move it. Let's see if you're able to move it surreptitiously enough. So what action would you like to use to do this?
Definitely using sway, and definitely heavily being like,
Oh, it's the most fun that you can have. I promise. It's the most fun that money can buy. I mean, if you don't get to try it, everybody else is going to be doing it, and you'll never even have tasted it. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
she just like really wants to emphasize that it's like for the upper echelon and everybody's doing it. So here's...
it's very strange because just to kind of go with canon a little bit, said the Leviathan blood is used to power the electroplasmic towers. It's used to create electric lights. It can be refined into a drug. So perhaps you are finding a high-end client who has the facilities to refine it into a drug.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, and you're going to use sway, and it's going to be, since it's, outside of a score, it doesn't really matter, but let's go controlled for standard effect. You will find a buyer.
Okay.
Oh, 6.
A success. A success. And I'm about to tell you why this is important. But first, I can tell you that you meet a mysterious, ambiguous figure out by a lighthouse in White Crown, the most high rent section of Doskvol, that introduces themselves as Ring. And Ring buys the canister of Leviathan blood from you.
Hey!
And says, "A pleasure doing business with you."
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Someone's cutting in.
Ring, having bought that from you, you get paid, instead of just the 4 coin from Valeris, you get paid 6 coin. for the Leviathan blood. You also...
Did we want to sell all of it, or did we want to keep some of it? What did you say, Abu? I forget. Or Ross?
No, it was Ross, yeah.
Just a little bit. So, yeah.
We take a scoop off the top.
I don't need much. Just a little scoop.
Yeah, we take a scoop off the top
A
before we
scoop
sell
off
it.
the top is
skim some
no
off the top.
problem. A scoop off the top is no problem, and I don't think it affects what you're paid at all. I'm just going to fill in your coin a little bit. You got 6 coin. 1, 2, 3, 4 will go in your hideout, and then someone needs to carry the other 2. Or 2 of you need to carry 1. Who's carrying this coin on their person?
Sydney for 1. Ross, you want to take the other?
Sure. Yeah.
So in your coin, just put down that you each have 1. And now, I can tell you this as well. You gain 3 rep from this score because the billhooks were above your pay grade by a little bit.
Oh.
So you take 2 automatic rep and then 1 more rep. Let me make sure that's correct. Plus 1 rep per higher tier. Oh, well, you're tier 0, and the billhooks are... Actually, this is important. You might take a lot more rep.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, billhooks are tier 2. So you actually take 2 more rep. So you got 4 rep altogether this time.
Dang.
Very well done. Now let's continue. Okay. So you have a meeting with Valeris, Chuk.
Oh, is he back? Okay.
Is he alive?
He's supposed to pay you out as well. Actually,
Okay.
this is a great place for me to do some fortune rolls to see how people fared after you brought the entire dock down. Here's 1 roll for the billhooks. Okay. Here's 1 roll for Triss.
Oh, shit.
Okay. And here's a roll for Valeris. Just Valeris. Okay. Valeris, and you have a rendezvous. That's all I'm going to tell you, Chuk. You had a rendezvous to get paid. On that bridge, once again, do you want to go there and meet him, or do you want to just disappear from Valeris? Because you have already sold the Leviathan blood,
I will meet him
the
on the
thing
bridge.
that he wanted you to protect.
No, I'll meet
basically.
him on the bridge.
You go to meet him on the bridge. Valeris does not show up.
Uh-oh. We did too
Who
good.
shows up?
We did too good of a job.
Nobody shows up. He
Oh,
totally
fuck.
ghosts you for right now. Does it have
But
to
do
do
I
with
know
you?
he's alive?
Would you like to gather some information?
Yeah, I'd like to survey.
Okay, and what are you surveying?
I think, after the event of the collapse, probably the news was talking about, the horrible collapse that happened at the docks. And the idea is essentially that I'm hearing out for how many bodies were basically, and specifically, I'm sure gang members would, they would have mentioned billhooks, they essentially, and I want to know how many bodies essentially rocked up and showed up.
Okay, I understand. You're calming the media and the ink rakes, which are the different papers of Doskvol, who are always in competition with each other, but who occasionally band together to fight with the government. They've released a story about it, but it's not front page. It's kind of, Doskvol is always decaying in some way. Parts of it are often falling into the ocean. So there is a story on one of the lower rent papers that covers the lower rent neighborhoods. And go ahead and roll your survey and see how much.
It might be hunt because it's gather information, right?
You can use whatever you want to gather
Yeah,
information.
I think I'm gonna use hunt.
Okay, great.
And then it's gonna be controlled, right? Or is it risky?
Controlled for standard effect. It's gather information, so those things don't really matter as much. But
Okay.
go ahead.
6.
Okay. You actually corner one of the reporters, and you make that reporter tell you who survived, because the article just had how many bodies were found.
Right.
3. And the reporter tells you, hey, look, there was an urchin, one of the many kids that, are always on the streets. I mean, not really that surprising to find one of them in the drink. Am I right? And he lights a cigarette. And then I happen to know that there were 2 members of the billhooks at the bottom of the ocean. They drug them up out of the water.
You say 2.
Yeah. very tall man and a woman with a braid. No, actually, she didn't have it anymore. And a woman who looked like she just had a haircut.
Yes. You're quite right. And I kind of leave. And what you can feel right now is like my trauma is like I'm completely cold. So I'm just this now, I'm this cold, bugging, horrible, weird-looking hound, essentially, is what I'm taking as trauma, by the way.
Yeah, and I need to look because I think when you fill up your stress meter, you take a trauma. Am I right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so I need both. I think now's a good time since you brought it up for both Mathilda and for Chuk to decide what their trauma is that they took. And you can see them listed, I believe, on your character sheet, if I'm not mistaken. So your personality changes in some way, Mathilda. Even though it might have been due to a stress and counting error, we're going to use the full consequences. Does Mathilda, after this job, become cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, or vicious?
I think she's almost all of those things already, except for soft. So I think in a weird way, whether it was the actual trauma of the event, highly unlikely, she's been through a lot of shit. I think it was hitting her head so hard. And she has like a slight sort of amnesia, change in personality from the injury itself. And she attributes it to Wiggles, the orphan who she threw off the boat. So now she has like this weird soft spot. And she's like more concerned about things, and especially like children, which is so strange because her whole thing is pretending to be a kid and infiltrating houses, and she hasn't been doing that lately, like is lying real low. And every so often, if you look, she's traveling down towards the docks and looking out at the water. And if she sees a small boy, this matted, dirty hair from behind, she walks up and she spins him around. Wiggles! Oh, sorry. I thought you were someone else.
Remorse over murdering a child would make you soft, I think. So soft it is. And she may have the other qualities in the traumas, but not to such an extent as they inhibit her acting and acting as a scoundrel. But now being soft will inhibit her in some ways. Very good. What a beautiful and creepy little scene there. What about Chuk? What happens to Chuk?
I think Chuk wakes up, in safety, just black, covered black and horrible. And I think he's now, faced to death. And I think there is in the shock of the electroplasmic, whatever that Triss kind of sent through him has almost burnt out his nerve cells. So he's almost just numb. So he's numb to everything, just mentally as well as physically to a degree. And I think he's just, when he wakes, it's almost like, not rather than the kind of waking, it's almost just an eyes open. And you can just see, like, without, the no lip kind of guy just looking around, just, did we do it? Were we successful?
I think Canute is there.
And you're just seeing like sparks flying. Like Canute just turns around, goggles come up, like, looks like someone is finally responsive, huh?
Yes.
We got that thing done. We got product to move.
Good.
You got cooked really good, but we fished you out and made sure you were comfortable.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Appreciate it. And I kind of just sort of move on.
Where's Muck?
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there. I didn't mean to.
Oh, it's fine.
But I will say is
your dog
this
never
scene
left your
happens
side.
before. Say again, Ross. Sorry.
It's like your dog never left your side, and Muck is curled there, just like,
Aw.
looking up at you.
Aw, and then Muck vomits a little bit and then
Right.
licks it up.
Right.
All right.
I don't think
this
he's
scene,
doing
of course,
so good.
This scene, of course, happened before your rendezvous with
So
Valeris, and before the canister was sold.
So I know that. So he's there, and I wait there, and I kind of, as I wait there, I kind of am like, I'm kind of. I feel like I know that he's watching me. I think he is there. Can I? Is there like almost like could I get Muck to sort of? Because a spy wouldn't send a location or just drop like they're too nosy. I feel.
Oh, so we're back at the rendezvous.
So I feel like at the rendezvous, even though he doesn't show up, I kind of imagine that he wouldn't show up. But I've set Muck to almost try and find him. Because I'm sure he's got eyes on me. No need for an action
roll. I'm going to tell you, just in a free play situation here, Muck finds nothing. Valeris, as far as you can tell, is not at the rendezvous. Just not there.
Okay.
Why? Perhaps we'll find out next time we bring Chuk's crew back out. But right now I have to deal with your heat. And for the heat for the crew, I'm going to only give you 2 heat. Contained standard exposure. If you had not had that saboteur ability, you would have gotten more heat. But that ability really, really helped. In addition, if you had killed members of the Billhooks, or killed somebody, you would have gotten so much more heat, but you only take 2 heat, which, congratulations, that is really standard, really professionally done for a crew of Bravos. So let me give you the 2 heat here. And after that, we're going to do entanglements. Entanglements are what happens to your crew as a fallout from this. Let's see, you have a heat of 2. So we're just going to roll on this first table and find out what, and we roll your tier, which will be 2, and then take the lower. Okay. So it says gang trouble or the usual suspects. I think we'll go with the usual suspects. The Bluecoats grab someone in the periphery of your crew. One player volunteers a friend or a vice purveyor as the person most likely to be taken, and then we make a fortune roll to find out if they resist questioning. Does someone have...
Don't we have those 2...
Valeris?
Oh, yeah. Or don't we have those 2, like, cohorts, too, that we got in...
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that would be gang trouble. And that means one of your gangs causes trouble due to their flaws.
Got it.
You can lose face, make an example of one of the gang members, or face reprisals from the wronged party. Actually, I am going to go with, usual suspects here. Yeah. And I think, if you don't mind, I'm going to railroad this a tiny bit. You're not sure why, but you learn that the Bluecoats are asking lots of questions about you afterward, and you're not sure who maybe was talking about you and connecting you to this job. But someone has definitely put a finger on you. Let's make a fortune roll to find out if they resist, how damaging this tip that the Bluecoats are getting is, or you can just pay off the Bluecoats right now with 1 coin.
I mean, we have coin to spare, but I'm curious as a player because I'm wondering if it was the person on the boat that we never even got to see, who knew that we were there, knew that we were robbing it, and if they're now throwing blame, like if it was the Billhooks and then someone else also knew. I don't know. I'm curious.
Which other person on the boat?
When we were passed out, the person who was shooting at us, we still
got taken down.
We don't know that.
Well, they weren't one of the bodies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could be them.
They said the 2 Billhooks, we knew it was the tall Billhook guy with the top hat that you stole and the woman with the ponytail. We don't know about Valeris, we don't know about the other person, and we don't know about the guy in the boat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you think, Ross? Should we just pay off the Bluecoats?
We got coin to spend.
Could we pay off the Bluecoats and be like, yeah, you know, like, let's keep this hush-hush, but also...
Remind me what the...
Who ratted on it? Oh, go ahead, Ross.
No, remind me what the alternative to paying them off is?
I'm going to roll a fortune die, and it could come back on you as heat or even harm.
I love this game.
I don't. I mean, I could just give him my 1 coin.
No, I think we should keep this coin, man.
Let's
I think
keep
we could
it.
use it to spend it on some real good stuff. Let's fortune roll it.
Okay.
These
Here
irrational
we
freaks
go.
don't want to pay their hard
Roll
ill-gotten
the die.
gains.
All right, you understand if I roll a 4 or 5, that's level 2 harm to a level
of
2
us?
harm. Oh, no, that should go to the person on the periphery of your crew.
Yeah.
But because I've recontextualized this as you don't know who's informing on you, I'm going to say you either take +2 heat, or if it's a 4 to 5. So if I rolled a 1 to 3, you take +2 heat. If I roll a 4 or 5, you take plus. Let's go +1 heat because you
Okay.
did better, and a 6 no heat. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, here we go.
That seems fair.
That's better.
All right, here we go. Someone is informing on you. Was it the man in the boat? Was it someone else? You rolled a 6. You take no extra heat.
Wow.
They're
Chuck
not
is such
able
a good
to find
leader.
you.
You're so good, Chuck. Thanks for advising.
It's all good. It's all good.
And now we have time for Chuck's crew to take some downtime activities. Now, I'd like to kind of move through these with alacrity because we don't have as much time in our episode as we normally do for a downtime. So let's just quickly find out. And let's start with the leader himself, the man of the hour, Chuck. Chuck, would you like to acquire an asset, start a long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, or indulge your vice?
I have a quick question, actually. Can we mark some XP?
Oh, absolutely. And I shouldn't have just quickly glossed over that. Let's first look at your Bravo's XP. Your
Thank you.
Bravo's XP says, execute a successful battle, extortion, sabotage, or smash and grab operation. You are actually more bodyguards here. Should I give that to you anyway?
Well, I guess so. I mean, we did smash it. It was a smash and grab.
We
Smashed
also
and grabbed.
didn't protect who we were supposed to
Yeah,
protect.
we were
So
literally supposed to protect, but
I'm going to give it to you because I think that you kind of half get all of those requirements. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? You did. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? What is your reputation? Did we choose one? I don't think we did. Let's choose one now. What is the crew's reputation?
where's that?
They give you some that you can choose. Here they are. Reputations can be ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange.
Ooh.
I'd say you know Chuck can be kind of brutal. Chuck and his crew can be pretty ambitious. They also
I think
could
we're
be
ambitious, right?
ambitious.
I think we're very ambitious.
Great.
In that case, I'll write ambitious into your character sheet, and then I will also give you that XP. I will give you that XP because I think you were ambitious in this case.
Nope.
Okay.
Something approved.
So let me go ahead and do that. And now, 1 second. I just have to bring this up again. I'm going to give you that 2 XP, or that 1 XP for that. Because you were ambitious. And then finally, did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of your crew? Yeah, you guys are backstabbing.
Yeah, definitely. Like horrendous people. We literally
Yeah, you're
took a
terrible
job from
people.
them.
And also, I would say, dealing with issues. At one point, Canute was just going to leave you.
I know. That was
Yes.
great. That was so good.
Yeah, and that like pause that Canute took allowed like Triss to kind of like jump into the boat and attack you. So absolutely.
Won't be so soft next time.
So we might not get to downtime activities, but let's do this XP. Here we go. Let's do Mathilda first. Mathilda, for your XP, you automatically get 2 prowess XP because you had 2 prowess-related desperate rolls. Would you like to move those into your main XP or keep them there? If you keep them in prowess, once that prowess meter is filled, you get a new dot in a prowess-based action, or you can move them over to your main playbook advancement and get a special ability when that is full.
I'm going to keep him in my bar and wait, because I only have one in my prowess section for prowl, and I would like to add another to it, so I'm going to hold off.
Understood. That makes sense. Then we go. You addressed a challenge with deception or influence? Yes, giving you that. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? Did you? Oh, yeah, because you've done a lot of stuff with, like, the wealthy people.
Oh, I guess.
Was that during the score, though?
No, it was only in the afterwards. I would say no, I don't really think I revealed much.
Yeah, I think maybe not. You struggle with issues from your vice or trauma during the session. I think I'm gonna allow it because you stressed yourself all the way out to getting a trauma. So I'm gonna allow it. 2 more XP for you. Now let's look at Canute. Sorry, did you have any other further questions or comments, Mathilda?
No.
Okay. Here we go. Canute, did you... first of all, your desperate actions. I see 2 in prowess. Would you like to keep it there or move it to playbook XP?
I'm going to keep them there.
Very good. You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Did you do that?
I don't know that I did in this one.
No, you lied as a sailor, so that's it.
I think maybe not. And you struggled with issues from your vice or trauma? I don't think so.
I'm sitting pretty. I'm the least traumatized of this whole crew.
Right. Okay, very good. So 1 XP for you plus your 2 prowess XP. And finally, we come to the man, a boy and his dog, Chuk and Muck. I don't see desperate actions here, but I know that you took some.
On a tune.
You took 1. Okay, great.
Yeah, but can I move that to my playbook advancement?
You absolutely can. Oh, and I see you've already put it there. Oh, and Chuk already had some saved up.
Yeah, I already
playbook
had some
advancement.
saved up from the last one. Like the last
this is
roll
cool.
I did, man.
If Chuk can get all this XP right now, he might get a playbook advancement. You addressed a challenge with tracking or violence. Absolutely, take that.
I definitely did, and because I think I did it twice. Right, I tracked to find where the what's it called, the Leviathan blood was, and my violence obviously was blowing them in the face.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Take both.
Yes!
Nice.
And then you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
This is hard because I mentioned that I was a dog trainer, but I don't know if it was very in passing. I don't necessarily say it was a moment to talk about. So
I don't think so, but I have good news for you.
What?
The final one is you struggled with issues from your vice or trauma, and you gained your first trauma.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take that final XP.
Yes!
Which gives you a new special ability. Do you know which one you're going to take?
I think I do.
Okay, I'm going to clear your XP.
Okay.
And tell me which one you're taking.
I'm actually going to go for Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter. Interesting. So I'm going to read that off for everybody. You can push yourself to do one of the following. Make a ranged attack at extreme distance beyond what's normal for the weapon. Unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the enemy. Oh, that's awesome.
So I think the coldness of who I am now, there's no recklessness. It's almost like the numbing of the mind has made it even more focused. And I'm just able to just pull, just get shots which are just unbelievably impossible.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and click that for you. You now have Sharpshooter, and we have dealt with XP. So now we can move on to a little bit of downtime activities. Now, remind me, guys, and if you don't know the answer, I'll look it up. Does your stress meter stay full until you indulge your vice? Or does it clear when you get a trauma?
It
completely clears.
You take the trauma.
It clears. So, very good. That means that Mathilda and Chuk have no stress. How much stress does our friend Canute have?
Quite a lot.
Then maybe we indulge Canute's vice first, because it unless you weren't going to do that.
I would do it. Are we going to do both downtime activities here, or are we just going to maybe do one?
Let's see where we get to.
Great.
Actually, we'll start with you, Canute, no matter what. And what is your first downtime activity?
Yeah, let's go ahead and de-stress a little bit. So, just like see from behind, like a little squat coat striding through like a market and down a flight of stairs, down another flight of stairs, like giving a password to someone, like locks are thrown, and suddenly it's like loud and close and like chits passing back and forth and markers, and there's like torchlight, and there's a ring of people all screaming and shouting around this like circular pit that descends into the center of this like almost catacomb-like floor, and Canute kind of elbows his way through and like peers over, and there's two men down there, each of whom have like nightstick like bars, just like wailing on each other with like almost like Jason Voorhees like metal masks as they're bashing into each other, and one of them has like a red handprint on his mask, one has a green handprint on their mask, and Chuk's and Canute is like takes that coin and is like filtering it through and is like, I'll put 2 on green, and is like he's like leaning over the edge of the pit and is like, stove his bloody skull in, and as he's gambling on fights, gambling on the pit fighters down there.
Beautiful. Why don't you go ahead and roll your vice? So let's see. You make an attribute roll using your character's lowest attribute, and you'll
resolve.
clear stress equal
nothing.
to the highest die result.
All right, so what was it?
Oh, you got a so you resolve. You have yes, you got a 6, so you clear 6 stress.
Oh no, let's take the lowest because
Lowest, right?
No, you used your lowest attribute to roll.
That's right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Wait, let me look at this because did you use your lowest attribute? You have 2 and 1, 3 another, and you have 0. Oh yes, okay, absolutely. Thank you, Abu.
Right,
Every time
so
Abu
5.
gives the correct answer, I'm like,
sorry.
no.
so sorry.
Nah.
But I still cleared 5 because I rolled a 6 and a 5.
It turns out knows how to play the game and needs to teach me. All right. Yes, you cleared 5 stress, and that does not overindulge you, does it?
Not at all. It gets me down to 2. Or actually, no, it gets me to 3. So that's fine. So maybe does this mean I could actually improve the quantity of coin I get if I roll a good? Is that a mechanical thing?
Not necessarily. You know, a gambler may lose and still relieve his stress, right?
Right. It's the thrill. So
it's the thrill.
Yeah. So
why don't we say on this night you broke even?
I come out even. Yeah. So yeah, you just so down like it's hours later. If the sun came up here, it would have come up already. But like,
in fact, in Doskvol, there are pieces of sun
pieces
left
of
in
the
this
sun,
world,
yeah.
so it's like a dusky twilight time when you walk out of the place.
He comes out. You red circles under his eyes. He has not slept. How many fights has he seen? And you seem like in the troughs of the scars on Canute's face, there's little spatters of blood, but it's someone else's blood from the many battles that he's seen that night, and a smile is on his face, like, oh, he's so thrilling. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. And it makes sense that he lost so much stress from it because he really enjoyed it. Let's move to Chuk. Chuk, you have no stress. What is your first downtime activity?
So what is it again that I can do? I can either train, gather information,
acquire an asset. That's usually for an upcoming score. You can also reduce your heat, which you guys don't have a lot of heat right now, or you could do a long-term project.
I think I am going. I think I'm going to start a long-term project.
Very good.
Because Chuk likes his long-term projects.
Yes,
and
of course.
I think it's to is there a way of maybe saying like expand the crew?
Yeah, sure.
And be like, I think I'm gonna try and make it into a business. I think everyone else, he's seen that other crews out there essentially. What do? They kind of, they go out for themselves, they're up for themselves and whatnot. But I think Chuk's more about like forming almost like a takeover gang. It's almost like the whole kind of idea of being like, no, I think we make this as a business, as a as a way of going about it. Form more people, get more people, recruit more people, and then we take on mass.
So next time we play Chuk's crew, maybe we'll have like 6 players.
Exactly.
All right. Well, last time you recruited a crew, it was 6 segments. This time, I think expanding it should be a little harder.
Okay.
So I'm going to make it 8 segments.
Okay.
And we're going to call it Expand the Crew, right? And when we expand the crew, I would like for you to roll the action you're using.
Okay.
And then I will tell you how many of the segments we have filled.
So what do I roll?
You can roll any action you like that would possibly help with this.
Okay.
When you work on a long-term project, describe what your character does to advance the project clock. So you need to describe it, and then roll one of your actions.
Okay, I think I'm hunting. I think I'm gathering information. I'm seeing who I can turn, who I can get, what that kind of thing. I think I'm going to start. If actually, you know what? Can it be a spiritual crew?
You mean ghosts?
Like ghosts.
Or as my daughter would say, ghosties?
Ghosties. I'm thinking ghosties. I'm thinking it's like he wants some ghosties a part of this, like in this madness.
Well, then I'm going to change this. I'm going to change it to a crew supernatural power.
Yes.
Because that's a little different from just adding members to your crew.
Yeah.
You're trying to like, get spirits on your side or find some way of manipulating the ghost zone so it becomes a crew supernatural power. And what action are you using to begin this?
Attune.
That makes sense. Go ahead and roll your attune when you are ready.
4.
A 4. For rolling a 4, you get 2 segments on your long-term project, and I'll fill those in right now.
And I'm just my second action will be that. So can I just roll again?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Another 4.
Another 4, 2 more segments. But what were you doing? Could you just kind of how were you attuning? What was happening?
I think I was, almost connecting to my the first thought was using sort of the mind link towards with Muck and almost attuning myself to that first and trying to strengthen that. And as I'm sort of strengthening that bond, that link, I'm aware that this also, it acquires spiritual sort of energy and essence and focus. So I think my focus on that very same focus that I'm trying to apply with Muck, that, linking with my pet, I'm now trying to almost mind link with the actual spiritual sort of realm as well. It's almost shamanistic, almost like Taikarosi, taking from maybe spying and looking at what Selyak would do and sort of almost link and play into that sort of space. And that's kind of how I'm really drawing from this spiritual, space. And I think the reasons why I'm doing pretty good at it is because of the fact that, again, I am so cold. I am so numb to it all, and I can really, there's a way of actually I can almost feel again. So I'm enjoying and living in that sort of that space.
Abu making the argument that his trauma is actually a good thing. But I completely agree with you. I think I'll add something. So you have the ghost hunter ability for your hunting pet Muck. And it does say that you guys, the power you chose was a mind link with Muck. So that sort of describes how you're doing this. And I think what's happening, because you're just trying to accrue supernatural power, Chuk, you are like finding yourself connecting to rats.
Oh my god.
And like crows. And you're starting to learn to warg into these things.
Oh,
so you're not
god.
just connecting to Muck. You may soon have other pets.
So dope.
Excellent. And you're doing this through sort of a meditation process, or you're hunting through the city and trying to connect with
I'm
things.
trying. That's it. Yeah.
Very good. So that takes care of Chuk's 2 downtime activities. And now that you've seen how it's done, Sydney Amanuel, what is Mathilda's first downtime activity?
I think she really wants to train, and I have a question about training with the XP gain on it. So it says you gain 1 XP on the track for an attribute or playbook advancement. So how do I differentiate those two?
You can choose. You can put it on the track for an attribute, or you can put it in your playbook. Because anything that goes on your track can go into your playbook.
Okay,
I believe that's correct, right? Anything that goes on your attribute track, you can just throw into your playbook if you want.
Yeah.
But I could, if I train, I can literally just put a new dot into something.
No, it must be in the specific. If you want to keep it with the attribute, you must train in that attribute. Let me give you an example. Okay. So I just need to look at the crew really quickly. So you are bravos. So that means you start with the ability to train in prowess.
Okay.
That means if you train in prowess with your downtime activity, you get 2 dots in your prowess attribute.
Okay.
2 dots of XP.
Yeah.
If you train in, say, resolve, you only get 1 check of XP. And now I'm realizing that there's also something called personal, and that might be the playbook.
Okay.
XP.
Well, this answered my question because I'm going to use my 2 downtime activities to train 2 times in prowess, which is perfect because I had literally just said I already had 2 points in it and I wanted to put another in prowl. So I'm going to ding, 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 get those 4 to be able to get another one in prowl. And the way that she's doing it is I think if Chuk has time, I think she's training with Chuk because she felt very just like defenseless in the recent altercation. Like she brought out her cane sword at the end, but like Chuk had this gun and he was so fast moving and she's so taken with Chuk, which is why when they first met on the dance floor, she wanted to be part of his crew. And she's also very afraid of Chuk secretly. She doesn't want Chuk to turn on her. And she felt like she fudged up in the last mission and her and Chuk were both unconscious. So she wants to get back in Chuk's good graces so that nothing is wrong and there's no bad blood between them. So I think she specifically, very paranoid Mathilda is, I think she specifically says,
You know, Chuk, if you were to take me out with Muck, I feel like I could learn a lot. Just a few days in the woods or something, I don't know. What do you think?
Yes. A few days in the woods would do you well.
Chuk, stop it. You're making me laugh.
and she's so scared. She's so scared.
Yeah.
It's like Sopranos. It's like we're going to the Pine Barrens. I'm like,
I love the Pine Barrens. It's so pretty.
You know, there are really almost like no woods left, but it sounds like you maybe. Well, no. But I'm not trying to but you. But I think that maybe you're going to go outside the lightning barrier and train. Maybe go out to the wastelands a little bit. That would be the Doskvol equivalent of the Pine Barrens.
So what I do then is, what is there anything of precious of value that Matilda holds?
I didn't
like an item or anything.
I didn't specifically write down any items, but she loves pleasure and that's her vice, but like luxury as well. So I'm sure she has plenty, like a dragon's hoard of plenty of things that she has stolen from wealthy families that you know about, Chuk, that she doesn't tell other people about.
So what I then essentially do is we go to the outskirts. I tell you to follow me, and Muck's with me by my side. And what you essentially see is like out of my pocket, I pull out something of value of yours, be it like a ring or a jewel, and I glint it in the sun, and I'm like, "You wish to be better, yes."
Yes, of course.
Fetch. And I throw it. Muck grabs it and just runs. He's like, "If you do not bring me back that jewel, you will find somewhere else to live." And I walk away.
Amazing.
And she snarls a little bit under her breath because she likes Chuk, but she's also like,
I just gotta fucking kill him.
And she pushes her braids behind her ears and just starts like sprinting. And it's scary and weird because she's like a small child size. And imagine that just like running at you full speed, just like, and she's like going to get this ring back from Muck as she trains.
Now, because this is just a training sequence, she of course succeeds. And where is she putting that new dot? That new dot? Where did it go?
Once she fills up her prowess, she's going to put it into her prowl.
And did she already have 2 prowl?
She already had 1 prowl, so now she has
so now
2.
she has 2. Okay, excellent. And if you'd like, you can tell Chuk what you give him when you bring it back. You can tell him, show me what happens when you bring the ring back.
Okay, so when she brings the ring back, she literally has to go all the way back to their hideout, and she is like mangled, like scratches from muck, like bites from muck. She walked through like God knows where to get back. Her braids are all messed up, and she brings back. She opens up her little fist. She just knocks on Chuk's door in his room, opens up her fist to show the ring. And when you look, there's an engraving on the inside, and it says, to M with love, Mom. And this is quite possibly Mathilda's personal ring that is like a family heirloom and handed down from the family.
And I kind of hold my hand over your hand, like, and I say, and you became stronger. Well done.
She twitches a little.
I let go and I'm like, you are fantastic. And then I kind of walk it back in.
Back into the other part of the abandoned train car.
Yeah.
Down the train car.
Down to another.
You guys
down
can
to
still
carriage.
see each other. Okay, that was beautiful. And now finally, our final downtime activity from Canute.
I would like to craft a gadget. So this would be a long-term project, the beginning of one.
What are you trying to craft?
I want what Triss had. I don't want tattoos, but I want to be able to do what she did. So just like often the little industrial garret where Canute lives, just see like pieces of paper like punched into the wall of like a sketching of her, like the like crude drawings of the tattoos, like connectivity, inductivity, like electroplasmic currents, series of like little equations and things like coils of wire, and like again like sparks flying, and you see like attaching a little wristband with and then 2 prongs like pop up Wolverine style, like ping, like a little Jacob's ladder, and you can see like the electroplasm like going in, and it arcs up and then sputters and breaks down. He's like, damn it.
Amazing. I'm going to call this Canute and Eel Tech.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it an 8-segment clock because I think it took Triss a long time to figure that out. And you're trying to take it out of the tattoo realm and into like a technology realm.
That's right. I want to do mechanically what she did, sort of like biomechanically.
Yeah, I would make it more, except that you've witnessed it and you've had firsthand experience with it, so that helps you a little bit more. What action are you going to use?
Tinker.
Very good. Give me the roll. A 6.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
a
buddy.
6. That means you clear 3 segments. So you are only 5 segments left to doing this. So you already have the current jolting through the armor you've built. It's just not strong enough yet. You just need to find a way to give it a little more jolt.
That's right, yeah. You can see it like it's really crude and handmade looking, like wires kind of like at pivot points down this kind of like all like gauntlet going up to the shoulder, and like and maybe you see it's like just need to see shing is it's like arcs to life how powerful it is. It turns to a little cage and there's a little rat inside. Let's just see how powerful we are. He's moving close. He's doing like animal experimentation to see
Oh
how.
my god.
Oh man.
These are bad people.
Final scene. And then our episode is over. Chuk, as you are scouring the city and making these attuned connections to various creatures, when you are in a really kind of rundown and empty section of 6 towers, you suddenly find that you've connected to something that doesn't feel like an animal. Down an alley, beside an abandoned house, you feel a presence kind of speaking to you that seems more intelligible. Chuk. Come to me. Chuk.
I start with.
See you.
Oh my god.
Tendrils of shadow start to reach out of the alleyway. Selyak Khan. You betrayed him.
What?
The tendrils of blackness are reaching toward Chuk and Muck. I want your dog. And the tendrils start to reach for Muck, and Muck goes, and that is where we'll end for today. What a great two-parter. We even got all the way through Downtime. Chuk's crew is incredible. They might be more successful than the Remnant, really.
I mean, seriously.
But next episode, we will be back with the Remnant. We will have Josephine McAdam back on the show. But for now, can we please have a round of digital applause all through the internet for Sydney, Emmanuel, and Mathilda.
Thanks.
Sydney, thank you so much.
You
for
were
joining us.
incredible.
Guys,
Thank you.
thanks for letting me jump in and have so much fun and reminding me of the rules as I went along, because I don't get to play Blades ever, unless I'm playing with Jared. So this has been such a joy for me. So thank
You're
you
a
guys.
natural. You killed it. Thank you. And thank you to my other amazing cast members, Abu and Ross. Guys, Haunted City is back, and we're happy to be back. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.